Hi everyone, today we are going to be discussing the book Wonder by R.J.Palacio. If you've ever heard anything about the book Wonder, you have probably heard that the author never described Augie's facial deformity, and I think that's a big part of the book. It really encourages people to use their imagination and create their own story within the story. So, Wonder is about a 10-year-old boy named Auggie, or August, his full name. He's definitely not your normal kid. He has been homeschooled ever since he was, I think it said 7 years old. And so he's been homeschooled for about 3 years now. And he struggles with being different from everyone he has ever met, including his own family. He has a facial deformity, as I mentioned earlier, and it's led him to having to deal with bullying from other kids and even sometimes teachers in his own school, which is way eye-opening for me to view as a future teacher. Although he's been really comfortable being homeschooled his entire life, his mother and his father actually decided that it's time for him to attend a public school and make more friends other than the two that he currently has and has had since he was 2 or 3 years old. So I'm trying not to give away too much about what happens at the end of the book, but it goes through all of his struggles that he faces while trying to accept who he really is, get others to accept who he really is, and come to terms with how he is going to succeed as a student in this public school. So some guiding questions that I really want you to consider when reading this book yourself or reading this book with your students is before it even begins, like when you look at the cover art of the book, what do you think it's going to be about? I think the idea of using art to help you comprehend a story before it's even started and make predictions is so powerful. It really helps you get into that book reading mood. And then after every chapter in the book, I think it's super helpful to think, what is Auggie feeling right now? How do you think he's going to act based on his feelings? That's something I thought of after every chapter, and every time I got to a part where I was either wrong or right, it really made me think, wow, I can go back and examine this even more. After you've finished reading the entire book, I think it would be great to ask yourself or your students to draw what you think Auggie actually looks like. This not only activates the students' comprehension skills or even your own comprehension skills, it gives them a way to express what they've learned and also give them a little fun project. Drawing's fun. I don't care what age you are. And then another thing to ask is, how do you think his deformity made him a better person? Because after reading this book, I realized that a fictional character is probably one of the best people I've ever had the joy of coming into contact with. And it's a fictional character. So I think we all need to work better to be better people, whether that be accepting people who are of different races or people who are different than us or different than our perceived knowledge of what a human being should be. We just really need to act like Auggie. And then the last question is, what would you do if you were in Auggie's shoes? If you were born with a physical deformity that made you different from everyone else, a deformity that made you feel like you would never fit in, how would you proceed? Do you think that you would be like Auggie and make the best of it? Or do you think that you would shut down and then just completely not talk to anyone? So it's a great open-ended question to leave to your students and a great free write question. So yeah, that is 365 Days of Wonder. Is a book that I recently purchased to go along with Wonder. It actually has 365 quotes that are, I guess, inspirational quotes that they encourage you to be the best person that you could be. So I'm going to read you yours for today, which is December 7th. I believe that every human mind feels pleasure in doing good to one another, by Thomas Jefferson. So there's a quote like that for every day. Definitely look into purchasing this book, whether it's for yourself or for your classroom. So that's all for now. I look forward to the next video.